Mmm. 2 thumbs up. It's a good burger.
I'll eat this one.
Okay. Yummy. My doctor's appointment didn't go as planned yesterday. So in my last week vlog, in my 34 week, one thing I didn't mention in that is that I was itching really, really, really bad, to the point where I was taking brushes and sticks, like literally my hairbrush, and I was scratching at my feet until there were scabs, like till it was bleeding in scabs. I felt like an idiot typing that into Google. I really should probably do a video on everything I've Googled since I've been pregnant this time, because it's a lot and it's ridiculous stuff, but you never know. I mean, this is my child's life and he's inside of me. I can't see him, I don't know, so every little thing I'm just want to check up on and make sure. I look it up and it says that the itchy feet, that it's a very rare thing. You know, it could be cholestasis. There you go. That. The symptoms for that were extremely itchy on your hands and your feet, dark urine, extreme fatigue, loss of appetite. You know, those other symptoms, they could just be late pregnancy, 3rd trimester, extreme fatigue. I have a 3-year-old, dark urine. Now at my appointment at my 34 weeks, they had, you know, when you're pregnant, you have to leave a urine sample. So when I did, I noticed that my urine was a legit the color of, like, hold on, I'll get it for you. As dark as that. Actually darker. That is light compared to what my urine actually was. I noticed my urine was that color, and I drink 1.5 gallons of water every single day. So even if I was a little dehydrated, there would be no way that my urine would be that color. And I had brought it up to my doctor, and she just said, maybe you need to drink more water. And to me, that's just frustrating, because, you know, you're not gonna ask me any other questions. You're just gonna say, you should drink more water. It's like, I drink 1.5 gallons of water a day. Don't know if you heard me. And I do, I'm not lying. If a dentist is like, do you floss? It's like, yes, I floss every day. And you don't. But you just don't want to say you don't. You're like, I'm gonna get my life right, I'm gonna start flossing. And then you don't. But this was not that. I drink a lot of water. Where I go, I see a different midwife pretty much every single time, which is kind of frustrating, and I said that I didn't want to do that, but somehow that just keeps happening. So it's a little frustrating to always see a different midwife, because, like, I just feel like they aren't keeping track of me or the things that I'm bringing to them, because it's always someone new. And, you know, these appointments, when you get into your 3rd trimester, they're like, weight, blood pressure, is the baby moving? How are you feeling? Let's measure the baby, here's heartbeat. Okay, bye, see you next week. Like, not to be rude, but like, that is, you're not getting paid to rush me out the door. Like, if I have something and I'm bringing it to you, you know, like, you need to say more to me and ask maybe some more questions than just like, well, maybe you need to drink 2 gallons of water. Like, I would drop my son off at school in the morning, and I would come home and I would sleep from 9 a.m. until 2 o'clock. Like, hard, deep sleep. If you saw in my last week's video, I had slept and said that was not long enough. I had just got home. Now, yes, I did, you know, I didn't really get that good of a night's sleep with my sciatic nerve, but I still slept. But this was just something different. There was something that I knew that was just not right. When I looked that up and it said these things, I was like, okay, well then I'm calling my doctor, because this can be life-threatening to the baby. This, you know, the effects of this on me are just the itching, but the effects of it on the baby are very dangerous. He can be stillborn. So I call and they pretty much played me off like, oh, you're itching? Okay. Like, right, but it's on my feet, and I know I shouldn't be Googling things, but I did, and it kind of said in the receptionist, like, well, what did they say it would be? Like, kind of like playing me off like I was stupid. Like, well, what did Google tell you? And I was like, well, they said that it could be the cholestasis. I don't know how to say it. And she was like, oh, okay. Do you have a rash? It's like, well, I mean, I'm itching my feet till they bleed. So I don't know if it's a rash or, I don't know if the rash was there. I don't know. It's like, which came first, chicken or the egg? Like, I don't know if the rash was there first or if I itched this into my skin. Like, okay, well, a doctor can see you tomorrow if you'd like to come in. Pretty much acting like I am just overreacting, but they're just gonna, test me. I go in the next day, and I didn't put any of this in my vlog because I just kind of wanted to figure things out first before I put anything in my vlog. I went in, they did blood, they took urine sample, and they did a non-stress test. So the non-stress test was perfect. The baby is fine. And then my urine, my blood, they said they would have back Monday or Tuesday. Now keep in mind, this is now a different midwife. It's not even the same person. She thinks it's just really dry skin. If I'm not itching anywhere else, cholestasis is super rare. There's no way. She really doesn't think that I have it. She knows that my results are gonna come back perfectly fine and everything like that. So then maybe I'm wrong. Like, I hope I'm wrong, because this is very serious for the baby. This is not something that I want. Tuesday rolls around, and they call me, and which was, so this Tuesday, so 35 weeks, so this Tuesday that just happened. My results are great. I'm fine. That I probably just need to get some lotion. I'm like, okay, well, thank God. Like, now I'm kind of relieved. At least I got the test done. At least I found out, everything's fine. And that's a huge relief. This time I was kind of thinking my dream of going into labor at home, my water breaking, or, oh, I'm getting contractions, I'm in labor, okay, I can labor at home. Then I'm gonna go in the hospital and I'm gonna be able to do this naturally and everything's gonna be great. That's what was, that's what's going through my mind. I'm so excited. I had my doctor's appointment yesterday, which is what I did my makeup to go to. The normal weight, blood pressure, and everything. And then they send me on my way and I leave. And I have an appointment next Thursday. I made my appointment for next Thursday because I go every week now. Get 10 minutes down the road maybe, and my phone rings and it's my doctor's office. To get a midwife on the phone is not easy to get a midwife on the phone. You get like the receptionist, or you get like one of the desk nurses, but you don't ever really get a midwife on the phone. You were just in here, you got your results for your tests and stuff that you had gotten last time. And I was like, yeah, I didn't have any questions about it. It's not a big deal. They said everything's fine. And she said, right, well, they were wrong and they read you your test results wrong. And I was like, okay, so what does that mean? And she's like, well, you do have cholestasis. Oh, great. So I just now thought I was perfectly fine. I thought my results are fine. Huge stress relief. I'm gonna go into November being pregnant, and I get to go trick-or-treating with my son, and I get to do all these things in October with him before we have the baby in November. And she's like, so we need to start talking about induction. We need to get you on medication, and you need to come back in right now because you need an ultrasound and you need a non-stress test. And they do an ultrasound, and he's perfectly fine, which I'll show you guys the ultrasound pictures. He's a chubby, happy little baby. And they rated him, 0 out of 10, and he's a 10. He's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with him. Put me on medications, that. And they pretty much told me that I'm gonna be induced and have the baby before Halloween. I went from thinking that I have 4 weeks left to now like maybe a week and a half left being pregnant. And they said that, they're wanting to induce me during my 37th week. I'm 36 weeks right now that this video is posted. So that's kind of crazy to think that next week I would be induced. This does not mean that I need to have a C-section. I can still try for a VBAC. I can still do this naturally, but they are gonna do it with Pitocin, which is super scary because anyone who has had Pitocin knows how much worse that Pitocin makes your contractions. And that's just gonna make it even harder to have a VBAC. For me, it poses no long-term risk. Once I deliver him, that you know, it's pretty much done for me. But for him, however, it can be really dangerous, and the doctors, they recommend that you are induced at 37 weeks. What it is that it impairs the flow of bile from your liver. And, you know, right now while I'm pregnant, they're just saying that because of my hormones and things, you know, like, it's nothing that I did, it's nothing that I could have prevented, it's just my hormones, and there's just nothing that I could have done about it. Complications of cholestasis in pregnancy are severe. It increases the risk of the baby being born too early. It increases the risk of meconium getting into the amniotic fluid that surrounds the baby, and if the baby inhales it during delivery, you know, he'll have trouble breathing, and he also could be stillborn. They did mention the 24th, but they have not put that in stone yet, so I'll let you guys know whenever I figure that out. I got the phone call from my doctor saying that they want to induce me on the 23rd. So I thought I had 11 days left, and I actually only have 10. So that is stressful. Just gonna try to make the best out of it, and at least I know that the baby is gonna be safe and okay, and hopefully I can still have a VBAC. And yeah, so 23rd, baby C will be making his way into the world. Nose and lips. His little lips right there, and his little nose and cheeks, and his little face, his eye open. That's his profile, his big old lips. And then he has his hand in front of his face and his big old chubby cheeks. I was